shady stuff happens, and I feel like my job is to make sure no one gets harmed and that they're making the choices themselves. I see this with other agents too. They don't explain what's going on to their clients. They're not telling them that their choice. I explain it this way. A step off a stair is the same as a step out of an airplane.
It's so good.
Okay.
Yeah. But boy, you're not going to like what happens in the end.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jenny Woon.
I'm Toni Singh.
And you're on In the House podcast. We actually have two guests joining us today, Leah Bach and Danielle Bach from Remax Performance Realty.
Hi, ladies.
Hi, ladies. How are you guys doing?
Great. It stopped raining, so it's a beautiful day.
Yeah, it's nice and bright there. Where are you located?
We're in my apartment, actually.
Okay. Is that in Fraser Valley in Greater Vancouver?
Oh, no, I live just outside of my farm area. When I got divorced, I really felt like I needed space that could be cared for by others. I didn't have the bandwidth to continue to maintain a house. So for me, it just made more sense to buy the best view close to the market area. And so that's what I did instead. So
Amazing.
I'm very...
Sorry. Okay. Well, I just want to give a little bit of background and then we'll get into some of the questions. So you guys are members of the Fraser Valley Real Estate Board. Is that correct? And
yes.
Yeah, you've been in the business for 15 years. Danielle, you've been in the business for 2 years. And you guys are the Abodwell team. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start off with asking both of you guys what your spirit animals are.
That's a tough.
That threw you off, right?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's a good question. You're like a shark. That's exactly what I was going to think. And it I think it plays a little bit into, we take real estate really seriously, and I really fight for my clients, right? And I had a lady call me today. She goes, "I need a shark," and I go, "Aren't you lucky?" Yeah. And it's not that the shark can't be still friendly and professional and humorous and all those great. But when chips are down, you want me fighting in your corner. Yeah.
100%.
Sharks are beautiful creatures. Yes.
Yeah, they are.
Danielle?
That's so, I'd never even thought of what I would be. I don't know. Do you have something that you think I'd be? Because I know you are the shark. Well, I would think that you might be a little bit more like your puppy. She's very calm and very sedate and very methodical and pragmatic. And so I don't know if that's too light because you're not a hamster and you're not a shark, but you should see Ollie's the cutest dog in the world. So sweet. That's a really good question. She might have to get back to you. Yeah, I'll have to think about that. I've never been asked, but I'm the shark.
That's okay.
For sure.
You know what? If it comes up later during the episode, feel free to slide it in there.
For sure. I'll ponder.
Okay, ponder it. So, can you share with our listeners a little bit about each of your backgrounds? I mean, how you got into real estate, what the progression has been, and you're a mother-daughter team, right? How does that work?
I worked before I was in real estate, so I've been licensed for 15 years. What I did in my previous life was I had always wanted to be a real estate agent. That was my dream in high school. I wanted to be a real estate agent. But way back then, you had to not be working. You had to go to school for a year, and then you could be licensed in real estate. Well, out of high school, I fell into supply chain management. So I worked for some really big companies. And what supply chain management is that we buy everything needed to operate some type of business, whether it's commercial leasing or it's building new buildings. I've bought police cars and fire trucks, and I've worked for municipalities. I've worked for an international bank. as a senior vice president. So I did supply chain management and I became really good at it. And I sat internationally on their board of directors and did their education program and their ethics program. And in behind that, I added in training as a risk manager. So a certified risk management. So risk financing avoidance and risk control. And then I went to the Justice Institute and studied negotiations. And then I had a really bad car accident that put me in bed for 2 months. And I was like bored. And so I thought, maybe I'll check out the real estate thing again. And so I went on and like, oh, you could take the course online. And that's how it all started. I worked full time and then I did my first I think my first 5 years in real estate with a full-time job and made Medallion within those first 3 years for the first time.
Amazing.
Awesome.
So, yeah. And then I eventually just stopped working because taxes and, it just became so much work, right? That I couldn't focus on it diligently and handle the client load that I had appropriately with a part-time job. So I left corporate sector and went out on my own, only in the last 7 years, really.
And then how about Danielle? Danielle, what's your background and when did you decide to join your mom?
Make the switch.
Yeah.
So I was working previously at a manufacturing facility. I was their productions manager. So I was managing about a team of 50, doing their scheduling, a lot of their inventory controls, working with that team and making sure everything was running smoothly and getting out of the door on time. I worked there maybe 3 or 4 years. Did a lot of traveling in between. My boyfriend and I went to Southeast Asia for 6 months right out of high school, and we did the whole backpacking thing. And when we came home, quite done with the travel bug. So we purchased an ambulance actually from the government of BC, and we converted it into a little camper. And we drove from. It's pretty unique. Go from Vancouver to Cancun over 10 months and just did the old van life sort of thing.
Did you document that?
Yeah, it's on Instagram. We haven't posted obviously since our travels, but you can kind of go back through. It was adventures on Instagram, some periods in between. And so we've kind of documented that experience of traveling throughout Mexico and in between. And then when I came home, I did some more work at the manufacturing facility, and eventually it just didn't feel like the right thing for me. And mom obviously needed a lot of help at that time, so it kind of was just a natural switch of working for the family. So I spent a year in the unlicensed side of things, learning the documents, the back end of the process, working on events and stuff like that. I got my license, so that was in November of last year. So it's been a little over a year that I've been licensed. That's amazing.
Yeah, you guys look so good, so funny on Instagram. How do you guys divide your responsibilities between the two of you right now?
Well, I'm still the lead listing lady, and that's what I'm going to change my title to: lead listing lady.
It sounds very official. Lead listing lady, very official.
Shark, lead listing shark.
Yeah,
that's right. I think people don't appreciate sharks as much as I do, because I have a friend who's an oceanographer actually, and I know quite a bit about them. But yeah, I will still do most of the because I've done lead generation for myself. Now it's leveraging out the lead generation for more people, because the first agent I've ever hired, right? I've done everything by myself for that 14 years, really. And so I will do the prospects. I will qualify the prospects. I will book the appointments with the prospects. And then we will go together depending on who the prospect is. We did a buyer intake this morning. I qualified a buyer lead this morning. And so Danielle is essentially taking full control of all our buyer clients.
Yeah.
I will do open houses. She will split open houses with me as well. We've got 4 this weekend, so I'm doing 2.
Wow.
She's doing 2. She'll go out with the buyer. I'm doing a listing presentation on Saturday and a buyer intake with her Saturday morning. So we already have the weekends already booked up.
And are you both splitting admin duties then as well, or do you guys have an admin assistant?
We have a full-time, you go ahead.
Yeah, we've got a team behind us. So we've got one licensed assistant that's fully virtual, and she handles a lot of our documentation and tasks like that. And then we've got two assistants that help us on the ground with running around tasks as well as showings.
Okay, that's awesome because it sounds active.
It's a lot, and sometimes I need help getting my dog to the dog sitter. You know,
Mhm.
those kind of tasks that need to be done. But Lynn and Farron, so we've got Shannon, who is a licensed real estate agent from Vancouver, and she decided to move to Toronto, and so she is absolutely fabulous with the clients. And I start early, and she starts early, and it's a win.
Yeah.
And then Farron is training to be a real estate agent. She's getting her license in a couple of months, and then Lynn is our local on the ground. She's like our neighborhood eyes and ears, and she'll drop off clients and put on a lockbox. And if something goes wrong at a client's house and we're busy, Lynn can, dash over and make sure the place is secure or whatever needs to be done. But she does strictly unlicensed work.
Mm-hmm. And I actually have a separate question, but something came to mind right now when you were speaking about client intake and leads. Is most of your client base by referral or past clients, or are you getting online generated leads or something that you have to qualify?
Well, I get both. We farm and hunt.
Okay.
Love it. So, yeah. So we don't leave much lying around for other people. We have a robust mailing list. We have a robust farm area. We have a lot of community involvement, and our Instagram and social supports what we have as the vision of our company. We work hard. We keep our clients safe. We give them the right information to make choices, and we take responsibility. If we say we're going to do something, we do it.
Wow.
And so, so we want to ensure that that's communicated. And one of the things I worked really hard on was organic search. I've always go to social media marketing world every year and get the cutting edge stuff, but I worked really hard on my Google reviews. Push for Google reviews from people when they are. So people come to us. This morning lady was from Google. So
wow, that's fantastic. So
yeah, she's a qualified buyer. She's getting her money together. She got 90 days to get into a property, and she wanted a shark. And I don't know how she picked that up on Google, but
you put it out to the universe. So
yeah, that's what it is.
I think Jenny and I are both curious. So you're a top producing mother-daughter team. How do you guys separate your personal and professional lives and maintain, I don't know, healthy boundaries and things like that? And what about communication style as well? Do you communicate the same way, or are you different?
I'm going to let you start.
Yeah, I think some communication styles are the same. Some are definitely different. She's a little less techie at some aspects. We have our highs and lows of all those different parts. But I think we've done a really good job of separating personal and business. We don't live together. So when we do come together, we do our work things, and then we'll turn off and we'll have mother-daughter time. We'll go do activities, just the two of us. We'll go get our nails done, or we'll have dinner together and make sure we're turning our phones off. Or if we are working, that we're working together to get it completed so that we can have that time. Like just, and the days off. I've never had a day off in 15 years until this one came along. Yeah,
kind of.
That was really big thing that we're focused on for 2023 was not numbers for sales. It was for life balance. So it was really important for both of us to have a day off at least once a week so that we can do the life activities that we need to complete to be the best we can, putting our best selves forward for our clients. So being able to go and get groceries and clean the house and do these things that you don't have time for all of the time. So dedicating off time so that we can be our best.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I view it as if I can't maintain this relationship, Nothing else I do matters.
Mhm.
Nothing. Nothing in the world. I'll get cried. I'll get cried just thinking about it. But there's, and it's not like I've been divorced, so I know what breaking up family is like. And so for me, it was, how do we create a model where I have to be the boss and a trainer and a mentor and a mother and still maintain a relationship with my other daughter? So now I'm spending all of my time with this daughter. And I got another daughter who doesn't get all of my attention, really. So it was very important that the number one priority is this relationship, first and foremost, between us has to be, we have to work through everything. Yeah.
I want to just ask a question about this, though, because I work with my family. I come from a family of realtors, and we have our own brokerage. Yeah. So I get what it's like to personal, professional. So honest question, and answer honestly, because you guys seem more evolved than me and my family. We, in the past, we didn't set good boundaries for that. So how often do you reserve personal time as mother-daughter? Maybe you're getting your nails done and something from work or a client that you need to do pops into your head. Do you actually just wait to say it, or how often do the lines blur realistically?
They blur often. It's a constant conversation. Like it doesn't stop. Like it's not, okay, I need you to be my mom, stop talking about work, because I think it is action for both of us. So having that conversation is also part of the bonding. So I think it's something we talk about quite a bit. Like we can go get our nails done, but we're still usually talking about the next great idea,
blah, blah, or the next great idea. Like when we're having some downtime, we feel like we can be more creative too. And so it's hard. I think when you look at the relationship, that's why I would never marry most likely a realtor. I've dated real estate agents, but I wouldn't always want to talk about it. You know, when you go to a cocktail party and everybody's like, so how's the market? And you're like, can we talk about something else?
Totally.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, this is when they can write off the nail, the pedicure and the manicure,
exactly.
because you're talking about business.
And we do. So no, we have our dedicated time is once a week. I try to have family dinner is what it's called. And we go out and we pick something. There's this great new wow place along the way. The Steve Dumpling in White Rock, which is just what. And so we try out restaurants. We go to, the bulgogi. We love Korean food or, just steak or pasta or whatever. We just go out and we spend the money. We spend the time. We take family vacations. We're all going to Hawaii again this year at Christmas. And last week we were to social media marketing world as family. My sister came with us. So it was really nice to be together. So it was a good balance of life. We got to go to the conference in the morning and then we go out for dinner at night and we'll have to chat and we'll catch up.
Danielle, this question's for you. You've always seen your mom and she's still your mom. What's one of the most magnificent trait or skill or personality trait you've discovered in your mom after working with her?
Let me take her voice memo. She's so dedicated. It is shocking. She is, she'll work 12-hour days every day just because she cares so much. And it's, I think, where I got my sense of care. I call it a give a shit factor. I have a high factor. I care about people, and she's the exact same way. Like she will sacrifice her personal time to make sure that her clients are taken care of. And same with friends and family. She's such an acts of service person, which I think he probably noticed a lot more recently. Spent a lot of language. So she will be doing anything and everything to make sure that everybody's happy and well taken care of. And it's just, she cares. It's the care and dedication. It's profound. Thanks for saying that.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, it was. Now I pour shitty stuff out there.
So I guess in our industry, there's a lot of agents maybe who are looking to partner with somebody to grow their business perhaps. And some of them also look at bringing in a family member. How do you ensure in your guys' relationship for your business that you're able to contribute your unique skills and perspectives to your business?
I had to have some boundary structure around that because, first of all, it's my company and it had my name. And so we needed to rebrand as well. And what I see a lot of teams do, which I think is incorrect, but I mean, hey, different suit made by different people, right? Whatever. But what I think the problem is sometimes there's too many equal partners and nobody leading the ship.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to be the leader of the ship until I retire. But the reality of the leading of the ship is that my vision has to be executed. It has to work within my paradigm, and I'm not going to have it any other way until it's done. And as we transition, we are in our relationship is growing and changing as her capability grows and changes as well. So I'm not just going to throw her out with the cost it takes to get a listing today and hope that she makes it. I'm going to provide her the tools, and she's going to listen, and she's going to learn, and she's going to practice. So she's doing pieces of learning how to have a conversation, because this is real estate right here. Right? That's it. There's nothing else. Well, here, but it's here and here. And so she needs to know the why. And she needs to know, why am I having those conversations? Why am I bringing this up now? How am I preparing my clients to be successful? And how am I going to give her my experience without having to go through the same path? I didn't have a mentor or a trainee or a coach or a leader. I had YouTube videos. And that was it, from a listing presentation from scratch. So I only have a coach now, but I mean, before. So I want her to be successful as long as she still loves it. And to do that, we evolve and grow. Then she comes to listing presentations. She listens. She doesn't participate much, but she's starting to see it, right? So list to last, right?
I'm sure there's maybe some people, like the first time you're meeting them, they don't really know how your business is structured, and they don't know you, Leah, but maybe even Danielle, you're going to these meetings or doing open houses, and they're like, what is someone so young doing in real estate? And there's that, you haven't built that credibility or reputation yet. Have you been able to kind of have a voice without having to kind of use your mom as a way to build up your brand as well?
Yeah, I definitely have. And it's become more prevalent recently with friends that are my age that are getting into the market. So that's probably where I get most of my individual business from, is either young people that are looking for their first place. So they'll reach out to me on Instagram and say, hey, like, I'm thinking about buying. Can we meet? And it's like, yeah, of course. And we do that. And those are people, she does everything from the intake to close, right? The paperwork is now done by someone else, because Danielle works on projects more than any of the individual paperwork. So she's doing the buyers and so today, those families that come to her directly, I don't need to get involved at all. But the other thing is, Danielle's a homeowner, right? She's not bought her first place. She's already owned it for 2 years. Yeah. So I've gone through it. I know what the experience is like, and I can add quite a bit of value in that, especially with people, showing them what the process is like, where the pain points can be, and showing them that it doesn't have to be as scary as it might feel. But guiding them through that process is.
So, it's really interesting and exciting to see what you guys are creating together as a team. And I'm curious, how do you envision your mother-daughter dynamic evolving as your business continues to evolve?
Grandchildren. That's how I see it evolving. No, He's not kidding. I'm not kidding. Not even a little. But she is young, right? And she has things to do. But you know, I've worked a lot, and so I'm quite happy to start seeing more heavy lifting on this side, and that's really what it is. It's to do the training so that somebody becomes competent, and as she gets older, because she is young, she looks young. People ask her, "How old are you?" You know, that's not really comes up in any of my job interviews. So yeah, she does need.
Like, do you see Lynn, who's currently getting her license? Is it Lynn, right? Maybe as a buyer's agent or a listing agent?
Farron
Farron.
will probably Farron will be probably a buyer's agent too. Again, same process. You start there, you learn the conversations, you develop the relationships. You have those people call you in 5 years. So Farron is also young, and so yes, I will see it still moving along the buyer. So Danielle might start taking some listings, right? Go together, and I'll watch her do a listing presentation in the future. But now she's just learning, why is it structured the way it is? Why do I bring up the things that I bring up? What is the value to? If she doesn't understand the value, she can't convey the value, right?
Exactly.
Which has been super beneficial, and I've definitely learned a lot from it. Like when you were away in Mexico or Brazil, she took a vacation. I did listing presentations on my own, and I had to list my own properties, and I just did it, and we figured it out, and it went well. So,
Good.
you too?
Put that together mentally. Anyway, I guess I was really on vacation then.
Yeah, good for you.
You both have mentioned about the Social Media Marketing World Conference, and it sounds actually really interesting that I'm going to look into it and head into there maybe next year. But what are some one or two takeaways in this year's conference of what's trending and what should we be doing?
Well, what we really talked about was what seemed to be the biggest. So the type of person that attended SMMW has shifted. In the beginning, it was influencers, and in the beginning, it was influencers that were of a very specific type: 20 years old, big butts, lots of hair, right? And so now that's shifted. Now it was mainly agencies. And so there was a lot of agencies there, a lot of big name agencies who were working for famous people, and a couple influencers, not as much. The scope has somewhat changed. But I think what we're really talking about is authenticity, which is always a thing. There's too much authenticity. There's the fake humble brag stuff, and you can smell it. That's not what I'm talking about. And I'm also not talking about, things that we're going through in our personal lives that people they don't want that kind of minutia in, if you're a real estate agent's having a psychotic break, you don't want to have that out to people. But maybe you're struggling and you turn it off for a couple of days, whatever. But I think authenticity is the number one. And the biggest problem people have is being themselves.
Yeah.
That's our role is I am not ice cream. I am not for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm for people who like me and they love me. And that's why all of the work that we do is fulfilling and enjoyable, is because I work with people who really enjoy our time together. And other agents, they don't even get the repeat business. Their people will call me to sell because I was a selling agent for their home the last time.
Yeah.
So, we believe everything you do has to have a purpose, and everything you do has to be repeatable, and everything that you do has to also have the best intentions for your clients. Long-term.
Yeah, long-term game for sure.
And a few good aspects that they said was, again, the being true to yourself, showing who you actually are. I think they called it truisms, showing off little truisms in your day-to-day. When things go slightly wrong and you kind of want to show that you're a real person, your house isn't always perfectly clean, and you just show the behind the scenes aspect of it. And then also adding value, giving people actually, tangible value that they can hold on to and utilize in your content so that they're getting something out of it. It's not just fluff, it's quality value that they can take and apply to their.
You spoke about farming versus hunting. Curious as to what types of tasks that entails, like for each of those, farming versus hunting, and what your monthly marketing budget would be for each of those.
Well, I don't have the budget number off the top of my head, but we run a very lean ship. Our cost to gross mission is 27%.
Okay.
So we run 27% expense. And the farming portion is we have identified areas that we believe that are viable, and we create presence in those viable neighborhoods through participating in the community. And so some of our communities get more attention than others. And I can't do every one. So I don't do the big sponsors. Like I won't sponsor, somebody came and saw me on the fastball, like big association, but that's it. That's it. It's not an area that I service really or specifically target. So we do community events. I won't do the big fast pitch organization. Why? Because it's not an area where people will know who I am or see my name or that type of thing. But my girlfriend who sold a house with me, and all of our girlfriends who sold houses with me, comes to me with her fast pitch for her 13-year-old daughter. And I'm like, yes, not only will we make a donation, I will enter the gift. I bought 2 gift baskets. I even bought my own gift basket back. and I go
Off of that,
we go.
we're at the events. We go and talk to people, make those connections, and we enjoy it.
We enjoy it because these are our neighbors. They pay us well to be intimately involved in their lives.
You guys are so funny on your videos. I was busting out laughing on Dumb Ways to Die when you let your mom through the door. I want to know who's coming up with this content, and how much of that content is related to the actual transactions that are converting into deals.
That's really hard to track. I don't know if we have a pinpoint on what exact videos.
I guess
This
it's
year
like
we
a compliment,
promised-
right? Yeah.
Yeah. I think the big part of our social is social proof that we are real people and showing who we actually are, which is a big part. We come up with a lot of the ideas ourselves. If we see something online that sparks an idea, then we kind of send it to our communal group and we'll have discussions about whether or not it fits like we're doing.
Do you feel bonita? Have you seen that one on TikTok yet? No? Okay, wait. We did that next. But I love social. I love social media. I went to those conferences way before this one came along into the mix, because this was my 7th year, I think. As long 6 years.
And you're the one that's on TikTok, not Danielle.
And I'm the one that's on TikTok, and I love it. I love it. And so, I talk to people like, I love Chelsea Handler, right?
Did you go
Love
to her
stand-up.
show when she was here?
Did.
Yeah, me too.
Because
Yeah.
friend with the fast pitch, he also works at the airline that she uses to fly in here, and she got the tickets, and we were right there in the front, like me and
Nice.
Chelsea. I bought the hoodie. The hoodie.
I didn't. But it was a good show.
Like half the crowd.
Yeah, it was a good show.
Yeah, so no, I love that, and I love coming up with the ideas, and I get vetoed. And it's too far, or sometimes it's just not it. It's like, nope, sorry, not that one. She goes, it's not funny. And I'm like my Jasper talks. I love Jasper. And do you know who that is?
No, I'm not on social really, you
Yes,
guys. Sorry,
she's-
I don't love it. I appreciate good social content, but I don't like being on it.
Yeah, one of our biggest was we did a viral dance with Guy Bigger.
Oh, I saw that. That was so funny. I know. I creep your account. Sorry.
Oh my gosh. No, you know what though?
Yeah,
It sounds like you guys are the perfect balance, right?
We are.
Because it's kind of like, oh,
Okay, if there was anybody you want to follow, you have to follow
I'm
them
going to.
because of
I'm
the
going to.
daughter-
I just don't check social all the
daughter-mother
time.
dynamic.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I guess on that note though, what would you
Yeah.
guys say, Danielle and Leah, that set you apart from other dream teams?
I think that my business background gave us an ability to be super methodical and repeatable. And so we don't miss the details.
Mm-hmm.
We have set up our team to look like if you make one comment to us about the cat, it doesn't need to be
Oh, there's a dog. Just say hi.
Your dog
Kevin,
can.
hi.
Hi, Kevin.
So cute.
Kevin can
Such a
join
cutie
in.
pie.
We've had a lot of dog guests.
We're
on our
dog
show.
friendly. We're animal
Yes.
friendly over here.
Yeah.
Had a quick hug and then you can go.
Yeah. What's what's the most important value that represents both of you as a team that has really built this bond with you and the rest of the support staff?
What I tell them our company motto is, and get on board, is safety and responsibility. We're going to keep our people safe. We're going to give them the information that other people may not even understand the consequences of what's been included in the contract. We're going to, see that you know what I'm talking about, because I'll never forget the time somebody wrote a contract and actually slid a clause in to a subject and just inserted it. Like if you just went, oh, there's the inspection clause. Oh, it's part of the inspection clause, and then another little secret term in there.
Yeah.
So shady stuff happens, and I feel like my job is to make sure no one gets harmed and that they're making the choices themselves. I see this with other agents too. They don't explain what's going on to their clients. They're not telling them that their choice. I explain it this way. A step off a stair is the same as a step out of an airplane.
It's so good.
Okay.
Yeah. But boy, you're not going to like what happens in the end.
100%.
So 100%. So I explain to people, this is the value that I'm bringing. I'm going to give you the information so that your family can make the right decisions for you.
Yeah,
and then
love
you
it.
know what? Nobody calls me up at night screaming that I've led them in the wrong direction. You know, I mean, there's some things you can't control. Well,
sure.
actually, you can't control much, but you can control showing up. You can control doing what you said you were going to do.
Huge. They should do that. If you say you're going to do something, you just have to follow through.
I think that's all we have in this business too, right? In any business, actually. Do what you say you're going to do and have the integrity, right? So I think that that's the makings of a successful business, no matter what field you're in. You guys mentioned that you have really strong connections with, your farming and community. So curious as to how do you build that strong connection through your community? Is it like charity work, volunteering, I don't know, cross promotion?
All of the above. I sit on the North Delta Rotary, and I have a friend that is the director of Delta Assist, which is another charity. I have friendships from the neighborhood where I raised my children, people that have, the same life experience I do, growing up children, some losing children, some getting divorced, some tragic stories. And the fact that part of this job, as you know, is therapist. And it's not that people need to be fixed, but they need to be heard and supported in their transition, which is as serious as losing a loved one or getting divorced. Selling a house can be traumatic. So how do we do that? We're called and we explain things and we give them information and we take them out of the amygdala hijack of their emotional landscape. And so with all of those pieces together, so anyways, on the community piece, so we give back to our community. We have community events. We advertise community events. And in our newsletter, we advertise local businesses that we work with that we love. And those people reward us and share. I mean, it's a reciprocal relationship where we contribute to people that support us in the neighborhood. We support less able, to buy homes, but still have children and need support in different ways. Yeah. Just a
Amazing.
good citizen of humanity is really what it is, right?
Yeah. Kindness
Yeah.
and giving back. We're going to just take a little bit of a pause. She has to
I'm
do.
sorry.
There's an expiration.
I have a
on
time
what,
clause
15
right
minutes?
now, and the client just messaged me back. Of course, they waited. I'm sorry.
I think
you
of
can
all
finish though.
ladies, they understand.
I know,
I'm
but
going to finish with you right now.
I
Okay,
just
go.
want to say,
Go,
I'm
go,
going,
go, go,
but
go, go.
thank you. You guys are amazing, and I will be following you on social. It's very inspirational to be here listening to you. Thank you.
So, ladies, we always round off with 5 rapid fire questions to finish off the episode. So, so far I've learned so much from you guys, and I would just want to mention I really appreciate your authenticity, because what I see on the videos is exactly the synergy that you have brought to the episode today, and you weren't prepared for these questions. I really appreciate that everything is so real. And you know how a lot of people put on this alter ego or face, or they're uncomfortable on camera. You guys are so natural at what you do. So I really appreciate that.
That's so good to hear, because that is our goal. That is our number one goal. Is this us? I met a couple influencers over the last few years at this social media marketing world. And I'll tell you, there is nothing that pains my heart to meet them and find out that they are stiff, they are dry, they are apathetic to your engagement with them. And it's like, you don't read anything like what you have on your social. And I don't want that ever to happen to us. I want people to know what they're getting. And if they don't like it, block, swipe, I don't care. Right? This is us. This is what you get.
Yeah. And actually, even glad that you brought that up, because I'm sure a lot of them have insecurities and they don't show that, on camera. So when you're meeting them in real life, I'm sure it's a little bit different. And I'm thinking the reason why there's a shift in the audience members or the attendees is because influencers kind of realize they're not making as much money as they want to be. So now, because they're so good at social media, they end up being the agencies of managing all these other accounts rather than just personal branding. Yeah. So anyways, back to the rapid fire questions. Leah, this one's for you. What advice do you have for the younger generation who are just starting off in the business like Danielle?
I would probably suggest, especially at this age, that you would definitely want to get a mentor of some kind. And because the industry has a reputation for burning and churning the youth out, pick somebody that has values that are in sync with what you want, because they're going to give you that information and the skills to be able to be successful, but they don't need to do it on your back. If you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
There's work and contribution, but to learn something, to grow, you need to be more synergistic value-wise.
Right. So as a managing broker and owner, I'm noticing that there are tons of agents who are asking for a mentor, but it's hard to find someone who's a veteran or seasoned to actually want to invest in that time. So how can, what, I guess, format or structure, or maybe even something like what can they get in exchange so that there is that alignment?
Well, I think that they could be well served by hiring them as an employee, right? They could train them as an actual intake. You give them a company cell phone and you're the one giving them the leads, but you have to train them what to do with them. So maybe you have an employee. Or what you do is you agree that every benchmark achieved, you're going to compensate in a different way. Today, you're going to get minimum wage. And then in 5 months, or when you've done pre-deals by yourself, or you start bringing in leads, the dynamic has to change, because people, they hire them and they keep them, they churn them out, like just have them sit opens. Yeah. What use is sitting in open if you don't work it? I mean, nobody works an open house anymore. Mm-hmm. So I should say that generally, because this is going to be public. Not a lot of people work an open house the appropriate way. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah.
And so I think that as this is growing, she gets paid more money too. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I think working more. And she works more. If you just get paid more to do nothing, you have to put in the work. Mm. So that's what I would suggest. If you're not going to do an employee type thing, which would be difficult with the new BCFSA rules as well, then you have to do a compensation with levels of hierarchy of competence. I'll also jump in and say that starting as an unlicensed assistant will probably be the most beneficial way to get into the business and learn the practical side of becoming an agent. Like it's fresh out of the course, they don't give you all the information you need to be successful. You don't really know how a transaction lays out. So it would be probably in your best interest, maybe before you take the course or as you're working at it, to find somebody that you can help, even part-time, just to start learning how the process works. It will definitely give you a lot of value.
You guys just actually gave me an idea, and I'm always coming up with like new programs and ways to make passive income, is actually coming up with a course for unlicensed assistants. That
we
way,
used to have one.
that way they're graduated and then, they're hireable by all these agents. Oh yeah. Do you know who was facilitating that?
No, but I have the old paperwork still lying around somewhere. And it was out of Vancouver. And I've had 3 assistants, and at a certain transaction amount, you got to have a licensed assistant, period, full stop. Got it. It's like non-starter.
Yeah.
But I would say that that would be a really useful course, but very difficult to train because, as you know, everybody does business differently.
Yeah. Danielle, describe yourself in 3 words.
Oh, caring,
Dedicated. Not caring, just like, I care so much.
it's so hard. Respectful. I think that's.
Yeah. And you're very bright. I could just, tell.
From her dad.
Yeah.
She did not. No, from her dad. God bless his heart.
Steve.
If you were not selling real estate, LEAH, what career would you be in? Yeah.
Oh, well, since you asked, I started back at university 2 years ago in COVID to get my psychology degree.
No way.
So I would be in the busiest year of real estate ever, I went to university and took first year. Yeah.
Amazing.
Anyway, yeah, it was really interesting. And I would be sad. Like, I'd be late at night. I'd like doing deals and I still had 3 hours of homework left. It's 1 o'clock in the morning and I'm feeling sorry for myself. And then I realized the one mind shift that I always need to have whenever I get into that place of like, so much work, it is that time expands to fit in whatever I need.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I go, time expands to fit in, it always works out. It always works out. Just the answer to it always works out. But anyways, I'll be a psychologist or a clinical counselor, and I would give people the wisdom of space and understanding so that they can make other choices with their life that don't involve houses, but still the same sort of.
Danielle, what's your most favorite part of this business?
Payday. No, I love working with people. I love building those connections. I didn't at my last job, obviously, have that community of the same people, but getting to meet new people, hear their stories, hear the circumstances that they're in and why they're making these new choices into different waves of life and helping them through that has been very rewarding. Having those connections, a lot of the clients that I've worked with have actually felt like parents, like a second set of parents, helping them find them their new place has been so lovely. And just getting to spend that holiday. Yeah, though they're so right for, house a couple of retirees move in and it was just downside. Yeah, and it's just relationships like that are, you feel like you're getting another set of grandparents or another set of parents. You feel like family. And so spending that quality time with them and helping them make this next one step is very rewarding.
Nice. Yeah. Final question. Where can our listeners find you guys?
Okay. So Abodwell is abode and dwell, Abodwell.
Ah, thank you. I was going to ask where that came from.
Yeah, we were kind of brainstorming, I guess, where we wanted this business to go next and what we wanted this name to represent. So we had quite the brainstorming session, and Dwell was an attractive name to us, but I'd say, it's been very overused with the means and everything. It wasn't realistic. But Abode was also very fitting, and the backside of Dwell is well. So that was a big side of us, was the wellness aspect of it. If you buy well and sell well, you'll live well. If you love your home, you're going to live well. If you enjoy your space, you're going to live well. It makes such a big impact. And I think that's something we both noticed being homeowners. Leah's apartment is phenomenal and both really love the light of our spaces. And we've seen the effect that has on us personally and day to day.
enjoying your space has such a profound effect on how you live. So yeah, and we want that for our clients. We want them to really enjoy their spaces, feel comfortable, and have that safe space.
Yeah. My name's easier to spell. You can just Google LEAH Bach, like the composer. And you'll find me anywhere. But Abodwell is www.abodwell.ca. And you can find us at LEAH Bach Realtor on Instagram and all the socials, and LinkedIn as well. And I'm DANIELLE.Realtor on Instagram. And then, shared for all the rest. So shared all the rest. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, ladies.
Would love to hear if anybody wants help.
Yes.
Other realtors, they might have questions. We are happy. You can drop me a DM. And we'll do our best to answer your questions as time allows. And thank you for having us. Yes, thank you. It was a lot of fun. It went up fast.
Thank you. You guys had so much energy. Thank you for bringing it on to our show and helping lots of Fraser Valley families making smarter real estate decisions and loving your community and just showing up to make people smile like me. Like I'm loving your video. So keep doing what you're doing. And we really appreciate you sharing your love and the support of you two too. It's really great to see. Thanks for coming on our show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye.
Bye.